Hi, today I'm going to talk about Venus, the planet of love. Just like St. Valentine's is approaching now, let's talk about love. What else? And Venus is the planet which shows in our horoscope how we approach love, what is important in relationship for us. In a female's chart, Venus will show how worthy she feels of love, how well she receives and gives affection. A Venus that is not in a good position usually will make a woman feel less worthy, associate with less worthy people, make less worthy and less wise choices. In a male's horoscope, Venus will describe the wife or the women that a male is most often attracted to or somehow ends up being in relationship with, the kind of situation that you can meet your partner as well, the position of Venus can describe. Venus also describes how we make choices. Venus is the planet of choices, and of course the most important choices we make is about relationships. If you have a position, if you have a Venus in a difficult position, we will more often than not make wrong choices in relationships, generally in our life, but now we're going to speak about relationships. And let me first explain to you how you can find the position of your Venus. First, go to my website, astrolada.com, and go to the birth chart calculator. I have a great new professional birth chart calculator, but you need to know the time of your birth. It's very important, to find the position, the house position of Venus. You need to know your time of birth. Enter the time of birth correctly, enter the place you were born as well, and then the website will send you to a chart, a horoscope chart that looks something like that. And there are other things on the chart, but what you are going to look for is to see where the sign of the planet Venus is. So, Venus can be like that. Venus is written with the letters V, the starting two letters of Venus. And Venus can be in the first house, or Venus can be here. Just see where Venus is and what house, what number you have next to Venus in the quadrant, This will show the house position of your Venus. And once you have this house position, independent where Venus is, go and listen to the video for the respective position of Venus. If you have your Venus in the 7th house, watch, you see the number 7 here and you see Venus here, then go and watch Venus in the 7th house, the video for Venus in the 7th house. What happens if you have your Venus in the 6th house? Well, that's a bit of a difficult position to have. I'm quite sure that after watching these videos and you have Venus in the 6th house, I'll have a lot of dislikes on the video. But I have to be honest, I'm an astrologer and this is what the ancient book says and this is what I've observed. It's not a very easy place for Venus. It's probably one of the hardest places because Venus is the planet of relationship and harmony and understanding, while 6th house is the place of disharmony, is the place of tension. And it's very often that such relationships, you might have quite a few difficulties in relationship before you settle first. You can attract very often quite argumentative partners, And actually, you would enjoy that. If you see a man with Venus in the 6th house, he would like women who give him trouble, actually, who kind of argue with him. Even if he says he doesn't like it, he'll keep attracting and going for such women who give him trouble, who almost turn out to be his enemies. And often the partner you marry can turn out to be your enemy. So often they say that people with Venus in the 6th can have a divorce in their life. Sorry to say that, but it happens everywhere, Probably quite a few people must be born with Venus in the 6th house. And 6th house is also, as I say, keep saying, the house of discord, of enemies, so relationship can become a source of this. And 6th house is also the house of delays. So very often marriage or partnership can be delayed in life, usually after 30, 36, because of this property that 6th house has. Usually, but nowadays for people it's normal to marry after 30, 35, it's becoming a norm, basically. So also, 6th house is the house of marginalized people. So if you're a male or a female in the 6th, with Venus in the 6th house, you can be attracted to people who are marginal in society. Maybe in the worst case scenario, addicts or people that are somehow, you know, unable to take care of themselves, or maybe somehow in the underworld connected to fallen women, you know, maybe working girls, if you're a man, you can fall for, or girls that are afflicted, women that are afflicted in some way. But that's in more extreme cases, if Venus is also affected by being in a difficult sign and having negative influences from other planets. But often you can, you know, as I say, marginalized people, or people who live at the margins of society, who kind of do things that are not socially acceptable so much. But in more positive cases, if Venus is in a good sign, for instance, if it's not so badly afflicted, good signs are when Venus is in Taurus, in Libra, in Pisces, in Aquarius, in Capricorn, sometimes Aries, sometimes Scorpio. But when it's in Virgo, it's a bit hard, you know. But if Venus is in good signs, often you would attract very intelligent people, because sixth house is house of practical intelligence, how you solve problems. So you can be attracted to partners or relationships that are quite clever, that are very good at solving problems, that actually might be involved in some way of helping society, helping others who are marginally, who are living on the margins of society, maybe police people, maybe service people, maybe nurses or doctors, you know, problem solvers in some way. Who are dealing with healing, who are dealing with helping others as well. And also there is sixth house, there is a sense of addiction about it. Astrology talks that because it's anything that is out of balance is the sixth sense. So you can often get into relationship where situations are out of balance. One gives more than the other, for instance. It's not equal, you know, or where you fall for someone who is below your social standing. If you see a man with Venus in the sixth house, he would often be attracted to women that work for him, for instance, that are below him, his secretaries, you know, women that he employs in service. So if you go to the hospital, to nurses, you know, because they service him, and or women who are fallen women, you know, he might have a liking for going to lap dancing places and liking such kind of women, you know. Or a woman also, she might like guys that work for her, or maybe the plumber, you know, maybe she meets someone that basically she wants to help him out in some way. And in the most positive way, again, I keep saying these are people you'd be attracted to who themselves are helping such people in such situations, in, you know, in more unbalanced situations. And also, as I keep saying, that there is a sense of addiction there. So in the worst case scenario, you can meet people who are addicted to something, whether they're workaholics, you can be attracted to such people, whether they're, you know, sugarholics, you know. But you know, that's more extreme cases. But there is always some kind of a disbalance in relationship. In the first years in life, relationships are not so easy. After 30, 36, they can get better and better with time, but usually at the beginning they're kind of conflictual. Anyway, if you want to see if the current relationship you're in right now is good for you, and in the long run will leave you exhausted or will leave you happy and productive, whether they're going to be constructive, you can check my compatibility reports from astrolada.com, which cost only $15 and are based on ancient Sanskrit techniques of that were used by thousands of years for deciding if people would fit together well or no, and they've been proven for thousands of years that they work perfectly, and there is nowhere else on the net where you're going to find such compatibility reports. So quickly go there, check, make sure you know the time of your birth and your partner, and you'll get the results. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you soon.